He nuked the Democrats from orbit, though. I'm sure that they are, I mean, they're clearly pissed. You can look at Democratic and liberal commentators right now. They're having a nervous breakdown they've been having since last night. They're still, I mean, they're on their fifth whiskey sour, and they're still tippling to stave off a hangover at the moment, and shitposting and rage posting online. The copium is severe. This is a big sea change in the election. But we've seen a bunch of those before.
A few days ago, RFK Jr endorsed Trump. Some people are shocked by that. He said that he was flooded with texts, people leaving him bitter messages. When you think about the whole story and how it unfolded, RFK Jr wanted to run as a Democrat. He is from a dynasty of Democrats. RFK Jr was forced to run as an independent because the Democrats didn't even want him, despite the fact that he was actually their best choice. Better than Biden, a better choice than Kamala. And when you look at the polls, he could have beaten Trump. But the Democrats did not want to get behind him. Yes, he has some strange views. This is true. They call him a crackpot conspiracy theorist. But this is not a guy you write off like that. This guy is very bright. I read his book, The Real Anthony Fauci. Highly intellectual guy. He's an environmentalist. He was definitely, hands down, the best candidate for the Democrats. But because the Democrats are hell-bent on their progressive agenda, they just cast him aside. They really spit on him because they wouldn't even provide him with Secret Service. Like, that's just disgraceful, to say the least. To put it mildly, that's disgraceful. When you see how the game the Democrats are playing and the depths that they're willing to sink to. So how could you blame RFK for endorsing Trump? You expect him to kiss your ass forever? I mean, he pleaded with the Democrats. He wanted to run as a Democrat. People were telling him he should run as a Republican because much of his fan base, or fan base is not the proper word, but his supporters, people who believe in his message, believe in him, that would have voted for him were mostly to the right. They were kind of like in the Trump wing of the GOP. Or independents, mostly independents. But I'm saying he did have a lot of people that they weren't gonna give up, they weren't gonna vote for him over Trump, but they were highly supportive of him and his ideas. So people were urging him to run Republican. He insisted on running Democrat, because as I said, he comes from a family of Democrats, the premier dynasty in the Democratic Party, and they would not take him. And people like to point out, some of his family members have came out and spoken against him. They're part of that, this new Democratic Party that are wreaking havoc on this country. And they're just about willing to tear it down just to bring about their agenda. I'm talking about tackling the most sacred areas, sexualizing children. They support that. Late-term abortions. Like, this stuff is insane. And they're the first ones to talk about fear of losing a democracy.
Millions and millions of Americans who want clean air, clean water, and a healthy nation have concerns about toxins in our environment and pesticides in our food. That's why today I'm repeating my pledge to establish a panel of top experts working with Bobby to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic health problems, autism, obesity, infertility.
A spiritual journey for me. I reached my decision through deep prayer, through hard-nosed logic, and I asked myself, what choices must I make to maximize my chances to save America's children and restore national health? I felt that if I refused this opportunity, I would not be able to look myself in the mirror, knowing that I could have saved lives of countless children and reversed this country's chronic disease epidemic. I'm 70 years old. I may have a decade to be effective. I can't imagine that President Harris would allow me or anyone to solve these dire problems. After 8 years of President Harris, any opportunity for me to fix the problem will be out of my reach forever. President Trump has told me that he wants this to be his legacy. I'm choosing to believe that this time he will follow through. His son, his biggest donors, his closest friends, and all support this objective. My joining the Trump campaign will be a difficult sacrifice for my wife and children, but worthwhile if there's even a small chance of saving these kids. Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country and our children is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other. That's why I launched my campaign to unify America. My dad and uncle made such an enduring mark on the character of our nation, not so much because of any particular policies that they promoted, but because they were able to inspire profound love for our country and to fortify our sense of ourselves as a national community held together by ideals. DNC waged continual legal warfare against both President Trump and myself. Then, when a predictably bungled debate performance precipitated the palace coup against President Biden, the same shadowy DNC operatives appointed his successor. Vice President Harris has not appeared in a single interview or an unscripted encounter with voters for 35 days. This is profoundly undemocratic. How are people to choose when they don't know whom they are choosing? And how can this look to the rest of the world? My father and my uncle were always conscious of America's image abroad because of our nation's role as the template for democracy, the role model for democratic processes, and the leader of the free world.
Leave your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to Will Flores TV on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and X.